Breaking news, Nigerians. Peter Obi accepts Supreme Court judgment and has revealed his next line of action. Yes, my country people. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Obi, has accepted the judgment of the Supreme Court, which affirmed the election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and has revealed his next line of action in terms of the obedience movement. Let's find out more as we hit the news. But if you're joining us for the first time, you're very much welcome. I sincerely appreciate your presence. Kindly subscribe and please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you. Yes, the former Anambra State Governor has said with the legal battle over, the Labour Party was now in opposition and the judgment of the Supreme Court would not signify the end of the obedience movement. He said his resolve for a new Nigeria was still very much intact. Obi broke his silence on the Supreme Court judgment at a news conference on Monday, November 6th in Abuja. The Supreme Court on September 26th upheld the September 6th judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, affirming the declaration of Tinubu as the duly elected president of this country. But then again, the 7-member panel led by Justice John Iya Okoro had dismissed the appeal filed by the People's Democratic Party candidate Atiku Abubakar, who came second in the election, and Peter Obi, who came third. And Obi had said at this point, the future of Nigeria, would be better, would be bright, because he's focusing on how to do things that will benefit Nigerians. In fact, many people are saying this would be the end of his journey, but no, he says this is not the end, but is in fact this is the beginning of his journey. Yes, in terms of his political aspirations, his presidential aspiration on being the president of this country. And then the leadership of the party had accepted the judgment of the Supreme Court and has, given its agenda and the plan it has for the obedient movement. So, my country people, Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, has said the Supreme Court really bashed the hopes of majority of Nigerians by sacrificing justice for just political expediency. He said that this is not the end of his journey, but in fact it is the beginning. And at this point, Nigerians should take note, because where he's going to is a long journey, but he surely knows that with if he endures, if they persevere, they will definitely get to their destination. Now, the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, who wasn't satisfied with the ruling of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, that gave it verdict earlier in September, had approached the Supreme Court. Obi did not approach the Supreme Court alone. He was accompanied by Atiku, though they filed their petitions separately. The both of them were actually seeking the nullification of Tinubu's election on the grounds of double nomination, alleged certificate forgery, non-transmission of results electronically, and the 25% vote in the Federal Capital Territory (FCT), amongst others. And on Thursday, October 26th, the Supreme Court had upheld President Bola Tinubu's victory. The court held that the All Progressive Congress (APC) candidate was the valid winner of the presidential election that was held on February 25th. But then that doesn't stop the opposition from, standing their grounds on what they would do. So this seemed like, the plan of Peter Obi for the obedient, and has also urged the obedient members for them to be strong, because up till date he totally disagrees with the Presidential Election Petition Court and also the Supreme Court on the outcome of the 2023 presidential election, whereby the president was declared the winner by INEC. But then Obi said he's a Democrat and has also decided to pause at this moment, because the Supreme Court is the end stage of the quest for legal, closure to this matter, and I decided to put a hold on this very issue, but has also put blames on the Supreme Court, saying that the Supreme Court did not even consider, the wishes of Nigerians. So Obi has said that with his principles, he would make sure he puts resources together. And when Obi was campaigning, he had told Nigerians that the new Nigeria he aimed to achieve was a Nigeria whereby there is poverty free, whereby there is transparency, accountability, distribution of opportunities, resources, where he even promised to change this country from a consuming nation to a producing nation. Obi had said so. For the obedient movement, Obi has also stated that at this point that the obedient should remain loyal to their manifestos. They would also continue to canvass for a good governance and also focus on issues that will promote national interest, unity, national peace, the rule of law, and the protection of other liberties. And the obedient movement will offer the checks and the balances required in a functional democracy, one that is little practiced in this country. The obedient movement would stand as a watchdog to the ruling party. They would stand as the opposition to the ruling party at this point from now henceforth. So my country people, Obi has stated that they will remain in the opposition, especially because of the policies and the governance modalities. The Labour Party has always campaigned for the reduction of the cost of governance. Obi's manifesto has always been emphasizing on moving the nation from a consumption nation to a production nation. Obi's manifesto has always been focused on reducing inflation, ending insecurity, promoting the rule of law, and guaranteeing the responsibility to protect and stabilize the Nigerian currency, and has also stated that with the obedience movement on ground, that these goals wouldn't die down so easily, and has urged the members to surely, work towards their goal and their aim. So, guys, what are your thoughts on this? I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts concerning this in the comment section. Thank you.